Hello, everybody. Welcome to Abnormal Investigations. We got the whole crew here tonight. Um, a lot of y'all asked about a lot of questions about my mom and what had happened at her house, and a lot of the stories I talk about being from Granny's is going to come from where she used to live. That would have been her mom back when in her childhood. Before we get on with the show tonight, I would like to let everybody know that we are so thankful to have you here with us tonight. And I would also like to say that this whole show is dedicated to my son, Hunter McKee, at bringing him home. So, Hunter, this show is for you. The Purple Hearts, which purple is his favorite color, so that's why you're seeing the purple background tonight. And the background will remain purple until he comes home, which shouldn't be too long. Uh, Another thing I want to talk to you all about new members for the YouTube membership on my YouTube, you will end up with a picture of Hunter that will display beside your name when you comment. You do not have to be a member for any certain amount of time to be able to gain that. I think it's called a badge. It's not an emoji, it's a badge. And as soon as you join, and it's the lowest tier, that's the cheapest tier there is, you will get that beside your name that will be displayed and to I guess to
It's like everybody can see it in the chat.
right.
Yeah.
And Kobe Nelson, thank you so much for that super sticker. We appreciate that so very much.
Thank
And
you.
he's knocking it right off the top, right off the beginning,
Yeah.
before I even get anything said. We appreciate that so
Thank
very
you.
much.
God bless.
Take the names of the people that donate. Put the ad number, put their name, and put a bunch of purple hearts and put it in chat. Give them like 2 rows of purple hearts for donating. Another thing I wanted to tell you all, besides that, if you become a Patreon member, you will also get access to videos. I think we've got 3 videos out now for our Patreon members and our YouTube members. They both get the same access to the same videos. The only difference is our YouTube members will get a photograph of Hunter displayed beside their name in solidarity to show that they stand for Hunter. I do not know what people want their names put out there that have donated. So, out of respect, I'm not going to put names out until I know that I'm able to do that. But what I would like to do is if you have donated, please send me an email to the abnormalinvestigations77@gmail.com, and please send me your address. It will not be shared. It will be deleted. It will be destroyed, but we would like to send you a card, a thank you card. All of us will sign it.
Yes.
Another thing, I spoke with Mr. Herbert in the chat, and he has made a donation, and he was fine with me using his name. So thank you very much, Herbert, for the donation. God bless you. We appreciate that so much, and we are so close to meeting the goals of several things that we've got going on. Another thing, also, what was I going to say? I read what you wrote, then I forgot what I was going to say.
It worked.
Oh, we're going to be having a belated birthday party, Thanksgiving, and Christmas party for Hunter since he was gone.
New Year's.
Yeah, New Year's. A lot of people asked, how can we send him a gift? You can send the gift to the P.O. box running at the bottom of the screen if you would like to send a Christmas gift, card, anything to him. And again, if you're not able to donate money, watch our videos, let the commercials run, give them a like and a comment. That's always good enough. That's what we've always said. If I look like I'm looking away from you tonight, we have a brand new camera in the video tonight, so we'd have a wider screen. And I'm not used to it being over here. I'm used to it being here. So I'm not looking away from you being rude on purpose.
It's habit.
It's just habit for me to look at the computer.
And I'm looking over here, and I should be over here.
Right, and that's where the chat's at. So I'm a little confused on that. Sarah's going to be helping me throw comments up tonight in the chat and everything, so we will be doing that. My mom's going to talk here in a little bit about her. She will take questions from you guys, so if you have a question, please put those in capital letters so that we're able to find those and be able to hopefully get Mom to answer your questions. Frida, the best way to donate tonight is however you would like to do it. We have PayPal, we have GoFundMe, we have a Cash App, or you can do a super sticker. Tracy will be running the links in the chat here so that you all are able to find it. So just however you would like to do it is fine with us. Yeah, or you can use the P.O. box. I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah,
or the P.O. box.
There's a lot of people that's using the P.O. box.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people use that. I need to dish out an apology. We need to make an apology to a lady that uses the name Going Home. I don't know if she wants me to use her original name. There was a mistake last night on behalf of one of our moderators, and they accidentally made a mistake and timed you out or maybe removed you, and it was not the intent for that to happen. I believe that you should be fixed now and back in the chat, and thank you so very much for your contributions and what you've done. God bless you very much, and that will be used. And again, we are so sorry for the mistake we made. That was not intentional. It was an accident. And one of the last things that I really have to touch on tonight that I really didn't want to touch on, but it's going to be a necessity real quick, and we're not going to give it much time. I have been bombarded by people saying that there has been a no peace called. As far as our camp goes, we are still at peace. We are still seeking peace. I have spoke to my moderators, and they know that we're still seeking peace. We are still at peace. Nothing has changed on our side. Like I said, I'm a man of my word. I have not used the name of the individual on my channel that I said I would not, and I will continue not to do that as long as I am able to do that. We can only take so much, but we are going to do everything we can to have peace in the community, and I'm going to stand on my word because I am a man of my word. Is there anything you want to add to that?
Not really, other than, I mean, I don't see why the peace can't continue.
That's what we're for. We want the peace. Any of you guys want to add anything?
Rosie Rose, Hunter is Mike's son.
Y'all have anything you want to add before we start the
About
show?
the peace.
About the peace?
I just want to keep the peace.
Yeah, we're thankful for the peace right
I'm
now.
all about peace, no
Yeah.
drama.
No, I don't. Mm-mm.
Joining us tonight also is going to be Brooks. I'm going to be bringing her in. She's probably going to have a few things to say before the show starts. And she's probably going to have questions for Mom tonight also. So I'm going to go ahead and bring her on.
You guys take it easy on me.
Oh, Mary.
Hi,
Mary,
everybody.
thank you so
Thank you, Mary,
Thank you.
Mary, so much. God bless you.
Thank you, Mary. Yeah, I'm so happy you're all here. Thank you so much. We love you all. God bless you.
It's going to be an exciting night. Just looking at the backdrop, looking at Hunter, it feels like it's been forever since I've looked into his eyes physically. And it's a tragedy. It's sad.
It's heartbreaking.
You know, it's hard on everybody. But we do have one little person that wants to come in and say something to Hunter also. And go ahead and come on. We're going to bring him on real quick.
Probably have to come behind me, bud.
He would like to say something.
I find this stuff.
Yeah, you probably have to come like right here.
Step on in here. And you say whatever you want to say to him.
Come on in, come on in.
I am so thankful to each and one of y'all for all that money that you're helping us bring Hunter home. God bless y'all.
Okay.
Oh, thank you, Logan.
He misses his buddy.
It's good.
It's hard when the little ones are when their little ones are hurt because of adult actions. I think another thing coming up is we have an alternate channel that we have started. It's probably going to be more based on paranormal. The link to it is in the other channel, and we will get more into that.
Thank you, Janice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Frida.
Thank you so much, Frida. God bless you.
Yes, thank you, Frida.
Did I miss anything? I didn't miss nothing.
No, not yet.
You guys are awesome.
I'm
So-
watching.
The chat's moving pretty fast. I'm trying to keep up. They are. The support has been enormous. And we always said we had the best family. We have a strong core, and that's what makes the channel. That's what makes us go. So a lot of you know that I spoke a lot about my grannies and the encounters that we had there and things like that went on. A lot about what I talk about actually happened at my mom's house whenever she was a child. So I guess what we're going to do is, Brooks, do you have a question that you'd like to start out with, and then that you'd like to ask Mom, or?
Well, about what age did it start for you, Kay?
I would say I was probably maybe 7, 8,
Wow,
something like that.
that's young.
Yeah. Yeah, I was real young.
That's scary
Colby
for a
Nelson
child.
again.
Yeah. I mean, I can still feel how scared I was. I can't explain that fear, but I can, I still remember what that felt like, especially when I
Yeah.
saw whatever that was that looked up over the porch at me.
Mm,
That's a fear and a face that I'll probably never forget.
I can imagine. It's horrific.
It was terrifying.
You're just feeling like you're gonna faint.
Well, no, not at that age. I didn't. I was just so scared, and I was just like, I just screamed. And then I just ran into the living room where Mom was. And I remember I just kind of squatted down right on the floor and she grabbed me up to see what was wrong. And I tried to explain to her.
If she knew what it was, though.
Yeah, she knew there was something. And so she locked all the doors. It was summertime.
Was it night?
Yeah, it was night. The porch light was on. Back in the day, we had screen doors, not storm doors. And she would always unhook the screen from the door and open it back in the summer, and we could still play on the porch where it was cool. And that's what I had went out there to do. And I just squatted down by the edge of my porch. I think I had my baby doll. And when I turned to look, our porch sat probably about 3 feet off the ground. And we had a big cedar tree on both sides of that porch. Well, just as I turned, I don't know why I turned, but there was this face. And it was just like right at the edge of the porch, just looking at me. And those eyes was like they could look through you.
Mm.
And the ears were small, and he had kind of a broad face. And I could only see from like his bottom lip up.
Like you didn't have a jaw?
Well, yeah, that or he was so far under that's all I could see.
Maybe he was trying to peek up at
Yeah,
you,
like I was gonna
Yeah.
say, yeah.
not show his whole face.
Yeah, but I could see all of it from here. It was a broad head, kind of short dog-like hair. And of course, it just scared the life out of me. And I jumped up and I don't really even remember running through the door. I just remember falling down there on the floor and Mom picking me up.
Is that the only time you've seen that one?
That was the only time I saw that.
Could you tell if the hair was thick or like?
Yeah, it was thick like on a dog, like maybe like a German Shepherd.
Yeah, like I was wondering because that thing that I saw was. It
Yeah,
was
it's kind of like
thick.
maybe like a German Shepherd, but the head was definitely not dog, all dog anyway. I don't know what it was.
Deformed?
Huh?
Was it like deformed?
Or was it like
No, it wasn't
mixed?
deformed. It was just,
Was it a mix between a human and an animal?
Or another animal?
I don't think it's human. It didn't look like human. It was some kind of animal.
Frida says, Mama McKee, so sorry for all the pain this has caused you and yours. I pray for you, Mike, Sarah, and Kaylee daily. That dear one is coming home.
Yes, he is.
Thank you, Frida.
Thank you so much.
You're right. He is coming home. He
Yeah.
is.
God, bring them home.
I got his favorite color on tonight.
Yeah, Mom's wearing his favorite color for the show tonight.
Yeah.
Purple. Was there, whenever y'all first moved down there, when I used to talk to Granny, she told me that whenever they bought the house, that those things did not always used to happen there. But there was an event that took place that kind of jump-started everything that started happening there.
Yeah, I don't remember anything like that from when I was younger. It was always peaceful and quiet and everything. And my dad worked away from home, so it was usually mom. And I think there was still 4 girls left at home, and my brother that's just older than me. So we weren't any of us real old. I think the oldest sister at home was probably 16. But my brother had come back from Vietnam, and he was dating a girl. And of course, he liked to take her spook hunting because if he could get her scared enough, she'd sit real close to him. Imagine that. But so anyway, one night, I don't remember why we were with him.
Not
but,
uncle.
I was with him and my youngest sister, so she would have been like maybe 5, and another one of my older sisters. Anyway, he wanted to take us to this called the Low Water Bridge, and he pulls up in this pasture, and he said, "You can see these lights, and they float towards you." And I thought, I don't want to see anything like that. It scared the life out of me. But he wanted to scare his girlfriend. So he took us, and of course, these are little gravel roads, and they're dark as heck. And so we go across this low water bridge, and I'm sure probably all of you know what that is. And just past it, you could turn and drive just up a little ways into this pasture. And it was tall with grass. And there was a great big tree that stood there. Well, he pulled up just past that tree. Well, sure enough, we hadn't been there very long at all. And we started seeing those lights. And they started floating toward us. And I can remember telling him, let's go, I'm scared. And next thing I knew, I was in the back seat, and I got down in the floorboard because I didn't want to see it, covered up my head, and he started backing out. Well, as we got underneath that big old tree, we heard a thud on top of the car. And of course, he took off. He didn't see anything. And so by the time we got home, he pulled up in our driveway. We got out, and his car smelled horrible. It smelled like rotten fish. And so he said, don't touch my car. He said, it really stinks. And so we beat it in the house where Mom was. And when he come in, he told Mom, he said, I don't know what fell on my car out of that tree. He said, but there is scales all over it. And he says, it smells horrible. He said, when I take my girlfriend home, he said, I'm going to run it through the car wash. And so we stayed home, and he took his girlfriend home. Well, it seemed like after that is when everything kind of started going on. You could pretty much set your clock every night, 8 o'clock. There would be some kind of weird something going on. We had a lot of big trees around our yard, and there was one pretty close to the house, and the big limbs hung out, and you could climb that tree and get over on the house. Well, there would be several nights that you could hear something walking around on top of the house. And a lot of times Mom would go out on the porch, and it would make different noises from tree to tree. She'd tell us kids, oh, it's just a hoot owl. Mm-hmm. Well, sometimes it sounded like a hoot owl. Sometimes it would whistle, or these lights would flash, take turns flashing. And of course, she'd bring us in. We couldn't stay out. If we were out in the yard playing and it was close to 8 o'clock, she'd always call us to come in. And we would, because we knew what was going to happen. So we stayed in the house.
You think it rolled in the fish scales to
No, because there was that creek there. It was a little old shallow creek.
That's nasty.
Could have had fish on it from the creek. I don't know, or if that's just how it smelled. I don't know.
It's probably from living in that environment.
Maybe.
So they're rolling out like a dog to
I don't
get that
think it was
scent all
me
over
anyway. I'm pretty sure it scared me bad.
And dude from Texas says the smell could be a defense mechanism like a skunk.
Well, it definitely got me away from it.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't want no part of it. Didn't want to touch it.
And but it
stayed after that.
But that night, you all ended up with a visitor, right?
Visitor.
The one that was sounding like the coffee pot that was walking around the house.
We had that visitor very often. Mom drank coffee. Back in the day, probably a lot of you remember the coffee pots, big old silver pots that you plugged in. and they perked, and they'd kind of make the gurgling sound, as they started to perk. Well, along our kitchen, we went in there. Sometimes we'd go get a cup of coffee for Mom, and you could hear that. And I went to go get her coffee, and the pot wasn't even on. And so as I went back to the living room, that sound stayed right on that wall and went right to the living room, to the window. And Mom would always make us stay from the windows, and she'd just get us all gathered up, and we'd sit over on the couch away from the doors and windows. She always carried a .32 pistol, and when she was sitting down, she'd set it right in the side of her chair. And she also carried a big old steel butcher knife. And she kept that thing in her chair.
Jeez.
Yeah. But we'd always have to stay close, but you could hear it every night. About 8 o'clock, it would start in. And we knew it. We knew what it was. We knew we couldn't go out. We just had to stay in and be safe.
Wow. Do you think it was always there, or did something bring it to the house?
I think when my brother come in from that date, I don't know if it stayed on top of the car for a while or if it could just track its scent.
Probably track.
And I think that's when it really started. Because no, it was peaceful there when we first moved there.
We actually know the family that lived there that my granny bought the property from, and I was actually able to talk to them, and they told me that whenever they owned the property, that they also didn't have anything like that happen. So whatever happened had to have been whatever followed my uncle home from where he had went. Which, if you go by where that like the crow flies, where that would have happened to him at was probably only 10 miles across the lake, maybe something like that, from where he would have been sitting at, the
Probably about 12-15 more like.
So I mean, whatever it was.
They said Granny was a warrior.
She was.
She was.
With the knife.
Yeah.
Granny would cut
Right
your guts
up.
out if she needed to.
Going really fast. I was trying to keep reading it right there.
I'll throw that up there. Yeah, she there was many nights down there that I had stayed, and we would be afraid. And when Granny was there, you wasn't afraid, because she'd always tell you, I got that pistol and I got that knife, and it better not come inside this house, And we always felt safe. And then kind of a neat, kind of a little bit of part of that is I was blessed enough that I have that pistol. She left it to me whenever she was really sick and passing away. And I'll show it to y'all some night. I'll bring it on and show it. But I do have that pistol. That pistol has a lot of memories just with that pistol.
Dana said, did it ride home on the hood of the car, maybe?
I don't think it was on the hood. I think it might have been on the roof because we couldn't see it. So I think if it stayed on there, it was on the very top.
Kind of like that night Sarah and Kaylee went out and that thing was beating on your car.
Yeah, well, it was on top of the car.
It would have had
It was
to
on
be.
that night.
top, and then when we
The
get
sides?
out, it was side, under. Like,
Once they said it was under the
I
car,
was inside the car.
that was too much. I don't like it. It's
I don't
kind of
like
like when you're sitting on the edge of the bed, and you got this eerie feeling to reach out and grab your
But the
feet.
thing is, that's what the scary thing is how close it can get to you without you noticing.
And I don't
it.
like that.
And that was another thing. There was always an eerie feeling that you could feel that there was something around the house. I mean, you could just feel it. You just knew it.
Yeah.
When I come in from school one day, I probably wasn't maybe 8, maybe. And we had a yard fence, and then outside the yard fence was probably 30 feet wide, and then it was in the hog lot. And our basketball goal was out there in that spot. And so we played there a lot, and then at the back of that was the pasture in the barn. And I was out there playing, and I had my back to that pasture, and I was playing with the basketball, I believe. And when I was sitting there, I just had this really weird feeling that something was fixing to grab me.
Mm.
And so I jumped up and I turned around and I could hear something really heavy. And it wasn't hay time yet, so the grass was tall and I could see that grass moving. And man, I beat it for the side gate and in the house. And that was another feeling where I couldn't run fast enough. It was like I was in slow motion.
Mhm.
I couldn't see it.
Terrified.
Yeah, I could feel it. The hair on your neck and everything just stood up. It was horrifying. And if you're 8 years old, I mean, that's like King Kong's after you or something. It's really, yeah,
Right.
scary.
Yeah.
So one of the questions was, did Granny's grandparents experience anything like that?
No.
No.
No. And back in the day, so we didn't talk about dog men or what's some of them other things y'all talk about?
Nephilim and
Yes, we talked about Bigfoot and ghosts, but none of this fancy talk like Brooks and all you guys know about. I don't know about it because I just knew about Bigfoot, and I knew there could be ghosts because we had saw some weird, like white things in the pasture one evening. Summertime, we was always outside, and we were sitting in the yard, and it'd be on the east side of the house. We saw like a figure of a man, but all you could see was from the collar to the hip, and it was a white like t-shirt. And when we discovered it, it started to move, but it wasn't walking, it was gliding. And when my oldest brother was home, he got up and he went to get the rifle. And when he come out, it was pretty close to the yard fence. And he shot it. And he knew he hit it. But this thing like took off. And it was just gliding so fast and just like out of sight. Didn't have a clue where it went. It just disappeared.
they said, do you believe there was supernatural stuff happened at your granny's too? Or at your mom's, my granny's?
Yeah, maybe. At the time, I didn't think so. I just thought it was monsters because I didn't know about the supernatural stuff.
And you were young.
And I was young. I mean, we knew. I mean, Mom would pray and we'd, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, leave us alone and stuff like that. But
Did it work on that problem, or did it like stay?
that went away for a while. But I think the Bigfoot or whatever the other thing was, it would just come back.
So it wasn't like probably spiritually then.
The only thing that I think about now that might be spiritual is when we go to bed at night. Our bedrooms was in a row, and off of the middle bedroom was the kitchen. And you could be asleep or almost asleep, and it sounded like somebody would pick up a bag of dry beans and just dump them in the floor. First time it happened, I remember Mom got up to go see what it was, and there wasn't a thing in the floor, and there wasn't anything in the house. And so we thought that was pretty weird, and that happened a few times. And every time she'd get up to go check, there'd never be anything in the floor, or we never saw anything.
But it would show up at the same time every night.
Every night, 8 o'clock.
Somebody asked if you ever had them during the day.
It was probably around 4 o'clock, I'd say, that evening that I was out playing and could hear it behind me in the pasture. And so it wasn't dark yet, but it was like in the evening. Summertime, though, it was still daylight. Another weird thing that we did have happen, we had a dog, and I have no idea what this was, but he was a good old dog. And our house sat a little ways up off the road, and we had to walk down there to get our mail. So one day we saw the dog. There was a big picture window in our living room, and Mom was sitting there, and she goes, I think it was my youngest brother, she said, what is that dog got? And he said, I don't know. And so this dog would pick something up. We could see it was brown, and he'd walk a little ways to the house and he'd set it down. He'd wait a minute and he'd pick it up. He'd walk a little ways toward the house and he'd put it down. And Mom said, I think we better walk out there and see what that is. So the time we got out there, he was at the side of the house over in the spotlight where the hog log was. And so we went out there and it looked like a piece of square meat, like the skin off of a ham. And he was trying to eat it, but he'd pick it up and then he'd put it down. He couldn't keep it in his mouth long enough to eat it. So we just thought, he found somebody's scraps and brought them home.
Like it was hot.
Yeah. And so it went a little while we went back in the house. We was always outside, me and my sister and brother, and we came outside and the grass was on fire out there. So we ran out there and whatever that thing was had caught on fire. And so of course it was weird. So Mom come out there and we put the fire out and you could not touch whatever that was. It was just burning hot enough to catch the grass on fire. And so we put it in a bucket of water. And I don't remember what they did with it though. I don't remember.
So
I don't know.
did you have any animals come up missing? Did it try and get your animals?
Never. We had chickens. My dad raised pigs. Never bothered our pigs or the piglets. We had 2 old cows. Never bothered them. Never hurt the dogs. Our dogs got where they wouldn't even bark. They were so used to it coming up. They might bark one time and then we'd think, well, it's here.
They know what it is.
Yeah, they knew, they was familiar with it, so they didn't get excited.
Huh. That's a scary thought. Your dog don't bark no more.
Yeah, it was because you're alarmed.
That's
and
right.
When your alarm didn't go off, you don't know where it's at.
Right there.
Mm-mm.
But they were always pretty relaxed after a while.
I don't see how the meat just disintegrated though.
It was weird, very weird.
But the dog was okay though after.
Yeah.
One lady asked, "What do you think it done all day until it came to your house at 8 o'clock?"
Well, back behind our 10 acres was a bunch more land that no one lived on. It was all farmland. And back behind us, there was ponds and there was a creek that ran through there, and it was pretty like timber. And so I'm pretty sure it probably stayed back down in there. There was pecan trees and blackberries and stuff all down through there. So I would guess it probably stayed there, or we were only about 2 miles from the lake. And so, like I said, everybody for about 3 miles down the road from us, there was only 1, 2 houses. And the rest was just pasture, trees and
Maybe
stuff
why
like
we
that.
found the house.
Then there was an abandoned old building,
It's back behind
and it probably could have stayed in that, which was about half a mile from us. It's weird.
Now, you said that. It's kind of down in there is where we found that structure out of that man-made house
Mm-hmm.
type thing. So maybe
Yeah.
it lived
Back
there.
down in there by that swinging bridge.
Yeah, me and Sarah went on a hike with her husband one day, and we found a what appeared to be a structure built around a tree. Her husband at the time did not believe in cryptids. When we left there, he did. Sarah and I started hearing the whistling whenever we saw the structure, and we knew that whenever that happens, it's time to go.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, I'm not scared. I'm not scared. It went from whistling to grunting and growling. So he was the first one out. We was headed out. And Sarah, just by the grace of God, she turned with her phone and took a photograph because you could hear it following us. And remember, this is behind my granny's house back in where this would have lived.
Mm-hmm.
And she got a picture of a
I
huge.
can try to show it.
She has a picture. I think she can show you of a huge Bigfoot. I mean, it was a big one. And you all found a footprint right at your house.
Yeah, we found
Easy.
two.
They had two footprints.
It was raining one night, and my oldest sister and her husband had came home. They worked with my dad, and when they was in between tracks of timber, they'd come home. And so we were all sitting in the living room, and it had been raining really hard. And we had I think it's a 5-foot fence around the house. And so this noise started in, banging on the house and the coffee pot sound. And so my brother-in-law, he was a pretty good sized guy, had big muscles and everything from working in the timber. And he got up, took the 32 from Mom, and he went out the front door. And when he went around the side of the house, there was two things just leaped over that fence. And he said he shot them, but they neither one fell. So the next day, when the rain had stopped and everything, we went out there to see if we saw blood or anything. There was no blood, but there was two big feet print. One of them was 15 inches, and the other one was 13. And so whatever it was, had big feet, but it hopped right over that fence and just kept going to the pasture, toward the back of the pasture.
Was it barefooted or wearing shoes?
It was barefooted.
So 15-inch barefoot.
It kind of reminds me. Remember whenever we lived in the White House that had the creek by it?
Mm-hmm.
Remember whenever I was little and I found that foot at the back, and I brought you guys to see it?
Sure you did.
No, at the old White House. Remember, because I got so scared because you guys was telling that story about it, and we found it back there.
So scared.
You don't remember that?
I'm sorry. Oh, she's like, I'm so
No, I
scared.
don't.
Yeah.
It's probably one of them times that she jumped in the car and left.
No, I was younger whenever we lived there, but I found that because you guys were talking about it, and Dad walked out there.
Well, that's probably Dad's footprint.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought
He
it was
always was
Bigfoot.
barefooted.
I found it.
Sarah's going to show you all the photograph that she took that day while we was back
I
there.
gotta go over there. To
Yeah,
do
we
it.
have a state of the art camera tonight. We're
Okay,
not
you
used
have
to
to
using.
tell me when you can see it.
Okay.
I can't see.
She's going to try to right there. Can you all see that?
Uh,
You see the large black. You see the shoulders and then the head.
oh,
He's kind of-
yeah.
He squatted down in front of those trees,
Wow.
but he was following us
man.
all the way out of there.
Those things are creepy.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it followed us all the way out of there.
And those things are sitting there watching you and you don't even know it.
Yeah.
That's what's even worse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like the time I took the boys, down there to when we had those things jump up in the trees that would look like dogs. And then the boys were like, Mike, they're standing up. And then they're on their hind legs. And I was like, what in the world is that? But y'all also heard noises down there, and it also would speak, right?
Yeah. There was one time we loved to play in the hog lot. The hog lot had a little spring that ran through it. So it was like from the house, you went out and then kind of down, then the spring, and then it went back up on a hill, and there was trees out there. Well, one day we went out there to play, and it was summertime. And when we got out there, there was the weirdest thing. There was a perfect circle, perfect, round, and all the grass was beat down, and it looked like a flying saucer had sat down there. It was just perfect,
Uh-huh.
and we had no idea what that was.
She just don't remember.
But it was
That's the one that
perfect.
Mary tried to take the mold of. Remember? See, you remember it. Not crazy.
Sierra.
Huh?
Scared.
Now he remembers it because it was him. Because
We're-
Dad was out there.
We're glad you're able to make it in, Squatching. A lot of people's getting a lot of bad weather right now. I think Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, and all of them are getting some pretty bad weather right now.
Hmm.
Um, I remember you always called your brother a lot when I was down there when things would get really, really bad.
Yeah. When my mom got really sick and us girls took turns taking care of her, we worked or we'd take care of her. We'd go down 8 at night and we'd stay till 8 the next morning, and then the next girl would come. Well, mom had had a stroke, and so her balance was horrible. She couldn't walk unless we held to her. And she was so independent. She was always trying to do stuff on her own. And she wanted to be in the living room. So we made her a bed on the couch in the living room, and then the bedroom door was open. And I had Sarah, and she was little. She was like 2. And I moved the bed over against the wall so I could see my mom and watch Sarah, because you knew every night there was going to be something weird happen. I carried a 357, and I'd take that gun with me every night because I knew it wasn't going to come in and get Sarah. So we gave mom a little bell, and she would ring that little bell in the middle of the night if she needed something. And so I'd get up and I'd go in there. Well, it got where I heard this bell ring, and I got up. Mom was asleep on the couch, but this bell was ringing in the kitchen by the kitchen window. And so I went, of course, in there to see what was going on. Wasn't anything in there, but that little bell would ring. So, okay, so I went back in there and got back in the bed with Sarah. I didn't sleep, stayed awake all night. And then sometimes mom would just holler my name. She'd just go, Kay, and I'd get up. I'd go in there and see what she needed. Well, it got where I'd go to bed. It'd be quiet. They knew when we went to bed, or whatever it was. And the lights would go out. And I heard Kay. Just sounded just like mom. So I got up, went in there, and mom's asleep. And over by the window where the air conditioner was, it was one Kay. I knew that wasn't mom. Yeah, that's freaky.
That is.
I
So,
just go.
do
Go
you
ahead.
ever think it got into the house at any time or point?
I think it was. My older
Breakfast rooms.
sister has talked about being asleep one
Mhm.
night, and our bedrooms went in a line. And she was laying in the bed one night, and she said when she turned over, there was a very tall man standing beside the bed, just looking at her. And she said she couldn't say a word, and she just covered up her head. And she said when she uncovered her head, it was gone. But the next morning when you get up, all the doors are still locked. All the windows are still locked. So we don't know how it got in.
Granny told me she thought it got in your brother's window, that he left it unlocked or open from smoking.
Well, the last little bedroom, it's at the lowest in the part of the yard. And you could raise that window and pretty much almost step over into that window. But mom fixed that. She took some 16 penny nails and she drove that window shut.
Yeah, wasn't nothing gonna come in there no more.
And then one evening, the girls had went out to the barn to milk. And as they were coming back, you could see through the kitchen. And in the living room, there was like a picture window. And they could see someone standing with their arm up in that window, watching them walk back from the barn. And the only door that was unlocked was the back door, because they'd always lock the front door and go out the back. And when they got there would not be anything there.
I think it's weird why it didn't eat the chickens.
Yeah,
It didn't,
Or what about the eggs? Did it eat the eggs?
didn't bother anything.
But it would eat the scraps.
Yeah, we would take the scraps out at night and dump them over that back fence, because of coons and whatever. We didn't want them up in the house. But we're pretty sure it had its fill of the scraps.
I wonder why that was. They
I
wouldn't
think-
like eat the eggs. They'll eat like the cooked.
Because it
I
probably
don't know.
caused noise. So if you need scraps, all he really had to do was just lift the lid and not make noise of getting animals, because animals, make noise when they're
Well,
being chased,
it probably thought too that if it started killing their livestock, that it wouldn't be welcome there.
and they would chase.
So
It
it
wasn't
could,
welcome
so it
anyway.
could just come up and eat the scraps.
I think it got a little.
It was a little too comfortable.
Yeah, it was like,
Yeah.
Home.
yeah,
Mm,
it was trying to make her home his home.
Yeah,
I'll
it
live
would.
with it.
It would eat. I think it ate the scraps and wouldn't kill the animals because it knew it wasn't supposed to be there. But if it starts killing livestock, then people start getting a little more aggressive with stopping it.
Oh, yeah. That's
Noticing it more.
And why kill something and risk getting hurt when you got free food right out the back door? You can sit there and eat the food and look
Yeah.
in the windows and watch everybody.
And be as quiet
It's like
as
it's like
you
going to the movies.
Yeah, free food, just sit there and watch.
So was your dinner time about 8 o'clock when it showed up that y'all threw the scraps out?
We usually ate around 6:30, and
Okay.
we'd get Mom comfortable, and we'd go in and clean up the dinner, and then along about 8 o'clock or so, it would be time to change, a sister. And so sometime in between there, I'm guessing at 8. It was one night that on the west side of the house along the fence, there was honeysuckle. You know how thick they are. And then you come in that side gate. Well, there was one night that it was my turn to come in, and my sister, no, I was going to go home. My sister came in, she pulled up in that driveway, and she thought it was me because I'm always playing tricks on somebody. And so she saw me hide under that bush, and so she wasn't scared. So she come right in, walked past it, and said, "You can come out now. I saw you." And when she come in the house, I was sitting on the couch next to Mom.
Oof.
Scared the crap out of her.
Golly.
She knew it was time for me to leave. And everybody always thought it was waiting out there for me. And so
Right.
the girls thought where they wouldn't let me walk to my car because it only called my name. It wouldn't call any of the other girls.
Did it bother them why it was just them there with Granny?
No, on their nights, they might hear a little bit, but for the most part, it was kind of quiet unless I was there.
Hmm.
Maybe it was because you was with them in the car.
I don't know. It's just weird.
No.
I wonder why I didn't follow her brother, because he was the one driving.
Well, he was older. Like, he was in
Yeah.
war and everything.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe I just wanted to.
Must have liked me.
Kaylee asked, I don't know if y'all can hear her. Kaylee asked, why did it not follow your brother? And Sarah said, probably because he was older and he was in Vietnam. I mean, he always had a gun and, he could take care of himself. He didn't need a gun to take care of himself. He still don't.
Well, back then, too, I was smaller. I was packing the kid around with me.
Or was it an alpha
Yeah.
type of thing?
Would have ate me and you both.
There was a,
He'd had a bite of lead. That 357.
remember whenever we used to walk and push Sarah in the stroller, remember that thing followed us down the ditch?
Yep.
We had something follow me and Mom when I was young down the ditch while she was pushing Sarah in a stroller for a walk one night.
Ugh.
And we could hear it breathing and walking.
The faster we walked, the faster you could hear it behind us in the pasture.
Ooh. No, thank you.
I know, man. He wasn't welcome there, but he just wouldn't go away.
Well, there obviously had to be something about you that it was interested in. Maybe it was a male.
I bet it
doubt-
imprinted her.
I don't know.
I bet it did.
That's why I said it was like more intimidated. Alpha,
I bet it
wait
did
for her.
imprinting on Mom.
Yeah.
Well, one of our uncles was so afraid it was going to get Mom. You can tell him what he done to the back door.
They wouldn't ever tell me they thought it was just after me. That probably really freaked me out. They was probably afraid they'd lose a hand and wouldn't help their mom, but all of them thought that whatever it was after me. And so my sister's fiance, they were fixing to get married, come in and he said, he told Carolyn, my sister, he said, there's something going to get your mom. He said, it's out to hurt her. So he went home and he built this frame, and it was steel. And he put it on the back door because whatever it was would usually come to the back door. And it was like you had to go to the back door. That's where the laundry room was. And then you turned left and the bathroom was right there. And it's like it always knew when you got to that laundry room because it would rattle that doorknob like it wanted to come in. And if you hadn't peed, you was going to before you got there.
I would imagine.
So he took that metal frame and he took the wood off of the door and he put that metal frame up and he took bolts, I don't know, probably 10-inch bolts, and put them through that door into the frame. And on the inside, he made a metal latch that would come down, and he had 2 hooks on that, and it fit in between those 2 hooks. So the only way you could get in that back door was to tear that wall out if that door was locked.
Lana wants to know, I believe I pronounced that right. I got my glass off. Lana wants to know, were you guys isolated incident, or did other people in the area have things happen also?
We did. There was an older couple that lived way down by the lake, and they put their house probably a half a mile and backed it up right to the bushes of the lake. And when it would flood, it'd almost get their house. But yeah, she had things come up to her back door and mess around her house, and it would scare the fire out of her too.
When you see anything, just throw it up.
She'd come up to the house sometimes and visit with my mom, and she would tell her about, she went outside to empty scraps or whatever, and she could hear this funny breathing, and she would describe it, and it sounded just like what was around our house. But yeah, they had problems. They had a lot of cattle, and they never missed livestock or anything like that. But he just snooped around, or whatever it was, snooped around. She never heard it talk or anything like that. Just grunting noises. Sometimes it'd sound like a pig. It would grunt, and sometimes we'd think, oh, Lord, one of the pigs had got out. And we were really kind of stupid for a while, I guess, because we'd go outside. We had a big yard light, but you couldn't see, everything. And you'd go around there to where you heard the pig. There wasn't no pig out there. There wasn't nothing out there that we could see. There was one evening, my sister had come out. We were sitting in the living room. Summertime. Summertime was horrible. And like I said, our porch was about 3 feet off the ground. And her son came. And he just started driving, so he was probably like 16. And there was 2 big old trees right by the sidewalk. And then there's several trees around the fence road. Well, when he got out of his car and he started up the sidewalk, he got by that first big tree. And he said something just laughed so hard at him in a weird voice. And the next thing we knew, he was on the porch and in the house. He didn't even hit a step. He jumped plumb up on the porch and right straight in the house. And he told us, what had happened. But nothing out there to be seen, but whatever it was scared him to death. It was always, there wasn't a night went by unless it snowed.
That's what I was getting ready to ask.
If it snowed, didn't have any problems.
Did it slack off in the winter though?
No, if it wasn't snowing, 8 o'clock, it was on.
Huh.
If it snowed, because you could track it getting the snow. So on a snowy day, it was quiet. We knew we could rest that night. A lot of times, we'd take turns sitting up at night, just to make sure. it got really scary. I mean, because you could hear it on the house, or you could hear it around the house. And then there was the one time that Mike and my nephew came, and it was out back, and they shot at it,
I shot it.
and it went out and got behind the chicken house. The chicken house is probably 10 feet tall, probably, you know. And it was, you could hear it, the fingernails screeching down the side of that. And I went out there where those boys was, and they was determined to kill it. I told them, I said, you can't kill it. I said, you need to come in the house, because if you make it really mad, I said, it's all going to really hurt us. So we got to go in. Well, they had the truck lights and everything shining out there, and it stood up. And you could probably see, from just under its neck up. It was really broad. And of course, it was tall, and it had pretty long hair. And it was very mad. And so I told the boys, I said, get in your trucks, get them lights off of it, and go in the house. And so we did. But that was really spooky to be that close. Or you could pull up there and you'd hear a whistle. And like sometimes we'd go in the back door. Over on the other side of the house, there'd be a whistle. So it was like they had some kind of communication where they would whistle at each other so they'd know the location of everybody. It's like they
So
communicated.
there was definitely more than one.
Oh yeah, at times there was definitely more than one.
Like they had Morse code with each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
We still hear that though. Even now, whenever we go fishing, we still hear those weird sounds.
Yeah.
Whenever you're with.
That's why I tell kids when we go fishing, don't be afraid, don't bother it, just fish and don't pay no mind to it. It won't bother you.
I'm afraid it's going to snatch one of the
I'm like a
kids.
statue.
That's what I worry about.
But we've had it throw sticks and little rocks and stuff. Now, we did go to a place down at one boat ramp where it got probably more aggressive than it ever has anywhere else.
It was mean that night.
And it hit Mom in the side of the leg with the
If I'd
ankle.
had my gun, I'd have shot him.
Yeah, it hit her with a big rock that night.
Right in my ankle.
You would have had a trophy on the wall.
I would. I'd have put his head on a wall. I'd have mounted that thing.
Freda says,
Oh.
Mama M, which of the episodes that you've had scared you the most?
I would say it would be whatever the head was looking up over the porch, or when I had my back to that pasture, because it was such a hot feeling, and it was like it was so close you could almost feel it breathing on my neck, and I couldn't run fast enough. Those were probably two of the most frightening times that I can remember. The rest of them, Mom was always pretty close, or a sister or a brother, But for the most part, I think those two things I'll never forget.
There's just a comment. It's funny.
I was laughing at that comment. She says 8 p.m. daily timekeeper, or did it have a SAS watch?
Ha ha.
So, Susan says she's experienced the Morse code sounds that they believe are like Morse codes.
Yeah, a pecking. They'd peck on things too. Like, I know they were in the trees above the house. Because you could go out there and there would be a light just immediately come on in one of the trees. And it would go out, and then there would be one come on in the other tree. Those trees were big and they were pretty far apart, but the tops, would like touch each other. And then you could see one on top of the house and the eave of the house, and then go down to the back. And so you could see them like real quick. Those lights would flash sometimes. And Mom would tell us, don't get under those trees. Stay on the sidewalk if you're going to the car or coming in.
Yeah, can you imagine having one of those poop on you?
Thinking about it dropping around my neck.
and I thought we had to worry about Scott tonight.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I've been fighting that thing like kangaroos.
Just like it.
No, man. It was horrifying because there's just a feeling you can feel, if there's something weird like that around.
I went down to Granny's one night when she was sick and had a stroke. And I was sleeping in the bed that my mom normally slept in. And I've told people before, it had a water cooler
Go ahead.
in the window. And whenever I was laying there, I heard it say her name through the water cooler. It was calling my mom's name. It was going, Kay,
Oh,
Kay. Yeah.
God.
Yep. That'd make you want to take a bucket to bed with you because you didn't want to go to the bathroom.
Bucket. I didn't have gone to the bucket. I should have wore Depends.
Yeah, it was. And then the time it stood on the sidewalk and called Granny's name.
Yeah,
Oh.
there was that time my oldest sister was down there. And the worst times were always in summer because, we really didn't have AC back then. So if he was sitting, there was a big chair and it was lined up with the front door. And mom had come through the kitchen. This is before she got sick. And she'd walk through the front room into the bedroom. And when she did, my sister goes, Mom, she goes, walk over there by the TV. So mom knew something was up. So she just walked real slow across in front of the door, went over by the TV. And my sister said, don't go back over there. And she goes, what's wrong? And she said, she said, a man looking thing standing on the sidewalk next to the porch. And he said, every time you walk past the front door, it goes like this with its hands and motions for you to come in. And so mom said, yeah. So mom just politely goes over and locks the the screen door and the big door. It was weird stuff, but those things look like men, whatever they were.
Well, the thing down at the lake that was walking bent over when I pulled the gun on it and told I was going to blow its head off because it was throwing stuff at the kids and it was coming at us. And it started coming right at us. And I mean, it was throwing stuff at us, but it walked hunched over and it just laughed at us. It had that evil, like,
Satanic laugh.
yeah, it scared Sarah to death that night. I mean, it was evil. I mean, you could tell the way it was throwing stuff at you. It wasn't using a light. You're down there in the middle of nowhere. It's not using a light. It's walking right at you. It's throwing stuff at the kids. You're yelling at it, hey, who are you? Hello. It doesn't answer you. So I went to go meet it halfway so it didn't get up, to the girls and the kids. And I have my weapon. And when I told it, it just laughed. I mean, it knew, I guess I could hurt it because it did laugh, but it did veer off and go away from me out into the woods. So it has to have a fear.
These things are a lot more intelligent, and that's what makes me believe that there's something more than just an animal or an unknown species. Nothing in our animal kingdom is that smart.
We talk about the feral people. See, we didn't ever talk about that. We never thought anything about that.
Telling you. You ever seen?
And maybe that's what those men were, or men-like looking things.
No.
I don't know.
They wouldn't have looked like werewolves. They would have
No,
looked.
they didn't. They looked like men.
But the thing, like it crawled over the bridge at me and Sarah, that was a guy. But he had,
Yeah.
Kaylee was with us. This dude just comes crawling over the bridge
That was weird.
and
That's a troll.
just runs at us.
I think I'd rather take a troll.
And just falls in the middle of the gravel road. And I'm talking, these are like big gravel roads. He just falls and the dust goes up, And the first thing I thought was he was hurt. Well, Kaylee and Sarah, and I told her, I said, don't drive up on him because I had the two girls. I said, so we parked probably 50 yards away, 60 yards, somewhere around there. I opened the door and I yelled at him and I said, are you okay? he sat up on his knees, and he's like, "Come here." And I'm like, "No, we're not coming down there. I got my sister and daughter with me." I said, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Oh, I've been stuck down here all night, and blah 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 blah.
He
And
wanted water.
do you have any water?" Of course, we had water, and I said, "Yeah, I got some water. I'll leave it in the middle of the road for you. We'll, drive away. You come and get it, and then we'll call 911 for you, get you some help." He started cussing me like a dog. Started running at our vehicle barefooted, no shirt on, long scraggly hair, big old beard, and I mean he's barefooted, blaring at us. I had to draw down on him.
He didn't want the water to be left in the road. He
Yeah,
wanted us to hand it to
wanted
him.
us to
Yeah.
bring it to him.
Yeah.
Because the cat
Nope.
to come over.
Yeah.
That's a man for you. Just want to be waited on.
Yeah,
Have you watched any of the videos of the, like feral people that people have done?
Yes, I didn't know about feral
Them
people.
things
They're
are
crazy.
creepy. You talk about wrong turn. Them are it.
Yeah.
but one of Mom's friends that did go down there, that was going to take care of the problem for him, he didn't talk about it for over 50 years, and he ended up writing me a letter. And he said when he went around the side of that house, what he saw, the best way he could describe it was a werewolf standing on its hind legs at the back of Granny's. It was eating the scraps, and he said it wasn't eating them like a dog. It was standing up with its big long fingers and fingernails, scraping the food up, and he said it was shoving it in the side of its mouth, not in the front of its mouth, but like not easily either. It was like just smashing it into its mouth, and it was getting it all over it. Probably why they stink, but it was eating like that. And he said it looks at him sideways, kind of tilts its head, and he called it a smile. He said it smiled, and it said, "Hello." And he said, I knew right then, if it wanted to kill me, I was not going to make it back in the house.
Yeah.
He said, so I turned and I ran as hard as I could into that house. He said, I never went back and hunted it.
There was a chair that sat right inside the door. And he was a big boy. He was probably 6'1" or so, weighed probably 200 pounds, but he was a big boy. And when he come in that door, he just sat down in that chair, and he was as white as a piece of paper. And Mom asked him if he was okay, and he said, yeah, I'm okay. And she goes, what did you see? And he goes, I didn't see anything. And she said, are you sure? He goes, yeah. He said, I didn't see anything. And he sat there just long enough to get his bearings, and he said, I think I better go home. And he went and got in his car and left. And he never went looking for it again. What else y'all got for me?
Yeah, I think that's
I think
Throw something at me.
yeah, that's pretty much all the questions I had for, unless any of y'all have any questions or anything.
Mom's the one
Randy
Right.
said. Randy said, "Going home?" Question: does anyone here know what makes clicking sounds at night and makes a person feel like they're being hunted? I'd say Bigfoot, all of them can make a clicking sound with their mouth or their hands or.
yeah.
I think they're
See,
good
I
at
heard
mimicking
that
a lot.
quite a bit at Mom's, and we hear it when we go fishing.
Yeah, we still hear it to this day.
It's the baby cries, the dogs.
The laugh,
The laugh, the
Yeah.
baby cries, the giggles, the rocks thrown at you.
the screams.
Yeah, screams, limbs thrown at you. Kaylee
Forget
gets
that
something
one.
peeking around a tree at her.
Has Randy had that happen to him?
Yeah, I think so. Randy's having that happen to him. Is that
Yeah.
what's happening?
I think so. Yeah.
Now?
I think so.
At night.
At night.
That one, whenever we went on, I think Mike was being nice that night. I never did
Which
ask
one?
him because I went home where we was walking, and we were right next to the water. Remember, and me and you were talking, and then all of a sudden it was like that, just blood curdling
Yeah.
scream.
Yeah.
Telling me that was bad.
That was bad. That was like one of the worst from when I seen
That
that,
was
thing.
a
That was
that
one of
was a
the-
scream.
That was like blood curdling, murdered
Well,
scream.
we you know, sometimes we would have that scream and it sounds just like a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
And
dying.
just scare the life out of us, you know, because we would be out in the yard and it would be getting close to dark. And Mom would always tell us, oh, it's just an old screech out, you know, trying to keep from scaring us kids to death. She knew what it was, but, you know, it calmed us down.
It was loud.
But it happened. Oh, yeah, it was very loud and
Yeah.
shrill.
It was,
Yeah.
it was like so loud. It was like it sounded like it was like 10 feet from us, and I jumped on her like a spider monkey.
Yes, Dana, there has been. Actually, two young children lost their lives down here in the woods too. It was under suspicious.
Down by the lake.
Yeah, it was suspicious. They said.
Yeah.
And we do
you
have
know,
people die down here almost every year on the lake. Somewhere
Yeah.
down on the lake, we have deaths.
I don't
talking
like.
about them screaming. Um, when I was camping years ago in Colorado and we were on a private lease, I mean, there wasn't anybody for miles. And we had something right outside the tent that we all sat straight up. I had never heard anything like that in my life. It was scary.
Yeah, and you feel like you're helpless when you're out in the open like that. You ain't got no place to go.
Yeah.
It
I don't like the scream. I can deal with the grunts and stuff. But that scream, I don't ever want to hear that
No,
again.
that scream was too much.
It's
You know,
horrible.
when my dad worked, he sometimes worked quite a ways away, and he'd always have to rent an apartment or something. And if he had to get a break, he'd come home on the weekend, and nothing would happen. It would be quiet. And Daddy'd always say, "You guys, you're just scared because I'm not home, and there's nothing going to bother you, you know." Well, when he'd leave on Sundays to go back to work, 8 o'clock Sunday night, you know, we'd be having trouble. But if he came home, he'd go in there and go to bed, and everybody go to bed, quiet as it could be.
Huh.
And then a person asked about the neighbors, and yeah, there was some other neighbors that had problems too, but people didn't talk about it. They
Yeah.
they kind of kept it to themselves.
Yeah, they thought you know. Back then, we thought we'd be made fun of.
Herbert says,
Yeah.
"Have you asked them to leave you alone? Like the creature type things? Have you asked them to leave you alone?"
Yes. Now that I'm old enough to know to do that, yes. When I was little, I just depended on Mom. You know, Mom knew how to take care of that. But it would come back.
That's a new one.
Do you still believe that it recognizes you and bothers you when you're out fishing? Says Belinda.
I think
Right
so
here.
because
Yeah.
there's
did you
one
see that?
particular place that we go that almost as soon as you get out, you can feel evil. And that's where I got hit in the ankle with the rock. And yeah, I think it does for some reason. I don't show fear toward it. I don't let it know that I'm afraid
Yeah.
because I don't think it's really going to hurt me. I mean, it might comp me in the head with the rock or something, but I don't really think it's out to hurt me bad.
Do you think it's the same one? Like
I
from
Probably
it,
the
or
family.
I think it's the same
Yeah.
one or the same clan.
Yeah, I
or-
say it's part of the
they
family.
would have
of
to
them.
know.
Yeah.
Susan has a
Some-
good point. She said it makes you wonder if they knew that a man was in the house and when a man wasn't.
I'm sure they
Yeah,
could
I
sense
say it
it.
did.
Yeah, I've said that before.
Yeah, I would say it did because Daddy's truck would be home. You know, and
Somebody asked if you had nightmares too.
nightmares. If I slept, sometimes, you know, it was really hard to sleep at night because we'd be so scared. You know, it was like you was awake, and every little noise you heard, you woke up. You didn't sleep sound at all. You know, you was prepared all the time for something to happen. You know, a bang on the wall or beams in the floor, or you know, a scream. Was always afraid the windows would break. You know, it was scary because we didn't know what it was going to do for sure. And then after I seen that thing and I had told Mom and them about it, you know, I think that made it even worse because we really didn't know what that was.
Randy, thank you so very much for that. You didn't need to do that. You do enough without having to do that, brother. But we appreciate that very much. But thank you so much, and God bless you and your wife. I won't say her name because I don't know if she wants her name out there, but thank you all very much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you
Randy.
so much.
Guys, I'm blind as a bat. I can't see anything on
Randy
this
just
thing.
gave $50.
Yeah, thank you, Randy. You're awesome.
I saw it,
can't.
Tracy.
I can't see my hand in front of me hardly. I'm gonna get me one of those CNI dogs. I'm gonna grab him by the tail and sling it around and see what he can see.
Mom.
I think so, Sharon, too. I thought that Mom was probably imprinted on also. That was one of my thoughts.
But here where we live, haven't really had any problems with it.
Not a lot. Just the things that
No.
was running in the field at us and the inside out chicken.
Well, I think that was a cow.
That was hanging on the post thing?
No, that
Oh.
was running in the pasture.
Oh.
No cow.
That was a cow.
Or my window.
Now the chicken thing, I don't know. Unless somebody just chopped its head off and it flew up there and died, I don't know.
It was defeathered.
Well, they was getting ready to eat it.
Raw.
I'll tell you what it was.
But other than that, I mean, we don't. There's no grunting.
Do you think that I mean, each person has a different smell, a scent, you know? I wonder if your smell too was what
it's pretty
attracted them.
attractive, I'll have to say. Yeah, I think it would attract most anybody. It's pretty good. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't know what it was really. A lot of people thought it was because I had blonde hair.
Yeah.
Thank God I don't have
My hair
blue.
used to be really blonde when I was younger because I was always outside.
No.
And they always thought maybe it was attracted to my blonde hair because I had long blonde hair.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, it's after you did.
And if you see them, they're always usually dark haired.
Kaylee, are you still getting a visitor at your window?
No. Thank goodness. It hasn't been at my window in a very long time.
She wants to though. She wants to go back out and get it after her again, so we can get some photographs.
No, I finally got it away from me, and it needs to stay away from me.
Yeah, she's decided she's done with boots on the ground. She's gonna leave that up to me and Sarah, I guess.
Sarah, with your blonde, luscious hair, it could be after you next.
That'd be fine.
You just
I'll take it now. I'll bear wrestle it to the
you'll
ground.
hug it. You
I-
just like,
Come on, buddy.
Give me a hug.
You're going down.
Tougher than I am, Sarah.
She's crazier than I am. She does that.
Well, I'm not just gonna go down without a fight.
No,
If it's
you
gonna
said you're-
get me.
You said you're the first one to run.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
please.
But then if it gets me, heck yeah, I'm
Just
gonna
put it
fight
in
it.
You're gonna have to stay and fight with her because she's got the damn keys.
You're just gonna-
She ain't giving up the car keys.
See, I'm ready to help.
I hope if it attacks her,
Throw the keys.
that it rips the arm off, it's holding the keys and throws it. That's what I'm going after.
Just yell at it. Throw the keys to
Yeah,
us. You
I
can
don't
have
care
her.
if I have to drive with her arm hanging out of the ignition. Sarah, just head east. You'll go home.
Just start running.
Well, that's what he asked me one night. He said, Mike asked me, he said, what are you going to do if, say, we're out here and it grabs you? And I'm like, well, if I see it, I'm going to run like hell. And he goes, well, what if it, like, cuts you off or it gets its partner and and one of them snatches you? I said, I'm going to fight it until I can't no more. I'll spider monkey or whatever.
What
Yeah.
you guys have never seen is Sarah run.
Yeah, they have. They've
Yeah,
seen
they
it on
have.
video.
Yeah,
It's very funny.
yeah. She was chugging it off the bridge one. We went down to a bridge one night, Brooks, and I was wearing my tall snake boots and my shorts. And I told her, I said, don't film me because I'm not dressed for this. But we went down there to see if we could see the blood moon from the bridge. So I started doing the dance on the bridge, and she's sitting there. Filming live. We was live.
I gave him a song because he had all these like camo shorts, I think it was.
Go-go boots and
Yeah.
His snake boots on, and I was singing video because I mean he's getting it on that bridge too, and I said Rocky in the snake boots, and I was singing it.
That was terrible. But we are going to be hiking back into that spot back behind my granny's where we did find that what we thought was a house. We're going to be doing that this year. We are going to go back, and I want to look inside of it.
Wow.
I asked her husband if he was going to go, and he answered me real quick, no. But I'm gonna have Sarah tell y'all a really funny story. Tell him about the night that your husband was trying to pass us and what happened on the dirt road. I will never forget that.
We had been out adventuring, and we started hearing like these sounds or whatever, and it started getting pretty creepy down there. So we decided to pack up and head home. Well, we was on a one way in, one way out road, and it was down by the lake. And I heard something on the driver's side, and Chris was behind us in his car. And I stopped because I told Mike, I was like, I think I see it. I think I see it. So I was rolling down my window going to get a picture of it. Well, he tries to pass me. And I was like, no, this ain't going to happen because I seen it. So I cut my car sideways off to him, blocking the road so he couldn't get by. He's back there honking the horn, flashing his headlights, flashing the headlights. And I'm like, what is he doing? I need to get a picture of this. So I pull up just a little bit more, cutting more off. So by this point, he can't even cut around in the ditch to get around me. And whenever we got home, he said something like he could feel it looking in the window at him. He was trying to get around us because it was right there at his window. He wanted out of there. But he couldn't because
Get a picture, Chris.
He said I wasn't going to look out my window. He said I kept looking straight. He said I wanted to go home so bad. He said, but you cut me off, and you kept cutting me off with the car.
When we come home, we come those back roads. And Chris doesn't know the back roads out here very well at all. And so one night we was coming back. We had been fishing. And I don't care what or where we go, Chris has got to take the lead. No matter what. He's got to be in the lead. So then he gets in his car and he rips out of there, and we follow him a little ways. But he's going down this gravel road just lickety split. We're behind him. We get to the road that's a shortcut and he don't know nothing about. So Sarah whips to the left, brake lights. You see the dust roll up. Boy, I mean, here he comes backwards, just getting it, And he got him behind us, and then she would let him go around us the rest of the way home.
Nope.
Made him so mad.
He's funny whenever he gets mad.
He wants to be in the lead.
I love to do that. I like messing with you.
Scott, thank you very much. You've done more than enough. We appreciate everything you've done. You've done more than enough. We love you, and thank you for everything you do.
Thank you,
Thank
Scott.
you, Scott. We love you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave up his cryptid hunting. He said he's not interested in it no more. Hell, it's hard enough now to go fishing at night.
Well, I kind of think maybe I'm talking to him about it. Maybe going on one to the new paranormal place.
Where?
The new paranormal place that we've been going to.
Where them black things came in for me?
Yeah. I've been I guess as long as it's not like Bigfoot or he can see it, he'll go.
He's all right.
Invisible black things are good, Mike. You'll be fine.
Long as it's invisible demons, he'll go.
As long as he can get out of there without you jumping.
He just don't want to see what gets him.
If he sees something up his leg, we'll never catch him.
He's out.
He'd be gone.
We'll have a new trail.
I guarantee it.
It won't be a very tall one, but we'll have a new trail.
Going after him, there's going to be a taller trail because I'm going to go the opposite direction running.
You probably pass him.
You're like, you're on your own, buddy.
I'd try to pass him as long as I didn't fall.
That'd be easy for you.
I fall all the time, y'all.
It's okay. I bump in the wall.
That's why I take her with me.
Well, it was that one time whenever you remember that 2-wheel bridge that we went to whenever we went to the
Bridge.
Labadie place.
Oh yeah, we got to go back there.
That's the first time they see me run. that cat filled up.
She ran across that whole bridge.
I did.
It sounded like a buffalo. I was like, I thought one of the cows got out because I turned around that bridge. I was standing there. I was standing. Well, I was
It
standing.
was. It was moving.
It's a sweet. It's a.
I was holding on to that pipe.
Yeah, yeah. The bridge moves, and it's way, way up. Well, I was standing on the very end. She got scared at something. I don't even know. She took off running, and it's going boom, 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 boom. And I was, what the hell? And I look, she's running. Kaylee's bear hugging the pole down there.
I took off running because there was a car coming. And Mike said, golly, he said, we standing up here with that. Yeah. He said, we're going to be standing up here. He said, this bridge breaks. I was like, oh, hell no. I took off.
If Bigfoot's down there and she's running, it's going to look like 2 linebackers collide.
That's why I said I'll just bear hug it.
She's kind of like one of them horses in them old West movies.
Slides
If you
down.
fall off of it, she gets scared, she's headed home.
I know. I was going back to the car, and they're just standing on the bridge.
I'm not standing. I'm barefoot.
I know.
All in.
Kaylee's just gonna ride the pole all the way to the water.
Gonna have to peel her off the pole.
Run over me.
I think honestly though, that was the tallest bridge I've ever been on.
That was a pretty bridge, though.
It's an old time bridge, Brooks. It's got it's got the wooden train track planks that you have to keep your wheels on to drive across. And if your tires, fall off, you hit the little 1x4s, you'll fall through the bridge.
Now, do you see why I ran off the bridge when the van came?
Yeah.
But the thing is, she shouldn't be running because she don't run straight. She runs like this. She's like jumping from one tire track to the other, trying to miss the hole.
Yeah, it's one of those bridges that creaks as you move across it too.
Yeah.
It was freaking
Yeah.
moaning, groaning.
Swinging.
Sarah.
I just meant business. I want it all.
It was just slightly moving until she started running. Then it started.
Oh, Randy has a really good question. He said, question is, Mike, what will Hunter be eating for his first meal when he comes home? What we're doing, guys, is since he was not here for Christmas, should have been here for Christmas, but I missed him for my birthday. I missed his birthday. I missed Christmas with him. I missed Thanksgiving with him, and I missed Halloween, and I missed New Year's. So, and his birthday, if I didn't mention that. What we're going to do is when he comes home, we're going to have a late Christmas for him. The Christmas tree is still up. The Christmas tree will not come down until Hunter comes home. Whenever we get him back home and we get everything figured out, what we're going to do is we're going to set a date that we're going to have his Christmas, his birthday, all in one. It'll be a big party. What will happen is it will be recorded. We will make a video of it, and we will go live. That way y'all can interact with him while he opens the gifts, because I know there's people that are sending gifts in the mail. So we will go live while he opens those gifts. What we'll probably do is Sarah will pre-open the gifts before he does open the gifts, and then they will be repackaged to make sure they're safe and everything, because there, unfortunately, there is people out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of them are family that will, hurt kids. So you have to be careful. So, but we want you all to be a part of that, because you all are a part of that. You're a part of bringing him home. You're a part of our family. And we want you to be part of his celebration and our celebration at bringing him home. Good is going to triumph over evil. It's not happening as fast as I want it to, but it's all in God's time. My time would be right now, this minute. But there's a reason that God's doing it this way, and I believe it's to to make it right and to make it permanent. There was a lot of evil people that was involved in this, and it was further and deeper than I had even thought that it had went until people started coming forward. There will be another show after when Hunter comes home and Hunter has his party and you all get to spend it with him, and I will put him on the live where he can talk to y'all. Y'all know how good he is at that. He looks right into the camera. But he will be on the live. But there'll be another show, and the other show coming up, I'm not going to give out names right now or anything, but what's going to happen is all the bad that's been done that's happened to him, it's going to come out. There has been other people that are witnesses to things that have requested a seat for that night to be able to be here, to be able to tell what happened behind the scenes, the things I didn't know was going on, that they were a part of at the time, because they were lied to and told it was some way else until they found out it was not true. And luckily they recorded and they screenshotted because they knew things were not right. And thank God for them. Those are the hidden angels, I believe, that we obtain unknowingly, because they're the ones that came forward that saved this whole thing. And there will be that video. We'll do that. We are this close to bringing Hunter home. I will tell you guys this, because you all do donate and you are family, and it's public record. There has been a motion filed to bring Hunter home. I will tell you that tonight. There has been a motion filed. Hunter's coming home, and it has been filed. We're very happy about that. I can't go into detail about that yet, but I promise you, what we find out, if you don't hear it from me, Sarah, my mom, Kaylee, whoever, will go live outside of the courthouse. We will keep you all updated on where your money is going, where your donations are going. I want to be, open with you guys about that, transparent. And, the love that Hunter's going to see when he comes home to get to watch all these videos of the people that love him, the Purple Hearts, and we're fighting for Hunter and bringing Hunter home. He's going to be ecstatic about it, and
he's going to go, wow.
Oh, and I know that he's ready to come home. Some people ask me if I've seen Hunter, and since you all have been gracious enough to donate, I have seen Hunter. It was not how I wanted to see Hunter, but because of the lies, that's what I had to do, and I would do anything I could do to see him. I had to do supervised visitation to see him, which cost me $40 an hour, which I will spend over and over and over and over just to be able to hold his hand and to buy him a drink and to buy him some little chicken nuggets.
Which that has been dropped, the supervised visits.
Everything has been dropped. Everything that was placed against me, the protective order, supervised visitations, all that has been dropped by the grace of God, and the truth has came forward. And now we have made a motion for Hunter to come home. And that will be our next fight, is Hunter is coming home. And that's why we keep, asking for the support, because there is people that are not cooperating, and it's dragging this out. But God's will be done, like Jesus told Satan every time Satan tempted Jesus, or whenever Satan tempted Jesus, Jesus didn't fight him by words. He just told him, for it is written, because God's will be done, and Hunter's coming home. So, we thank each and every one of you for spending time with us, for the donations that y'all have given. There's a lot more people that have donated than what donated tonight. The love that you all have shown has been outstanding. There is people out there right now that want to end the peace that we have. I have a theory on why these people want to end that peace, and it's because peace doesn't pay and peace doesn't make numbers.
Let me say something. I think Randy asked the question of what is Hunter going to eat when he comes in?
Yeah.
You didn't answer that.
What Hunter will be eating whenever he comes home.
Pizza, guys.
It's going to be an array of pizza, KFC. We're going to buy him from both places, because that's two of his favorite places to eat. He will have, I'm sure, cake from his aunts
Dr. Pepper.
Cookies.
Dr. Pepper's, cookies. He has Christmas
All the
presents
good
under
junk
the tree.
food.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
Gummy bears.
Biscuits and gravy.
yes. He has presents under the tree that should have been opened Christmas morning.
Peach rings. He loves those things.
You know, and for those of you who don't know, I've had Hunter all my life.
Yeah.
I had him 5 years alone. He's with strangers, and I don't care what they say. He's with strangers.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is, it was part of his family that helped hurt him.
Yeah.
And that's the truth.
That little guy has the prettiest eyes, and he talks with his eyes. And sometimes he picked a fight with me. I'd come downstairs, and he'd pick a fight with me. Well, I'll fight with him, I'll wrestle him and stuff. And he'd get up here, and he'll want to box around with me or whatever. All right. And so if I walk past him, if I get after him, he'd run and hide under or on the couch. And then I'd turn around, he'd go, "Come on, old skin." That's what he called me. That's my nickname, is old skin. See, "Come on, old skin. Did you take it?" So the fight would be on, and here we go. Me and him, we would wrestle fight. But yeah, that's what he'd call me. His little eyes would just be shining. And he's grinning, he'd go, "Come on, old skin." I miss those eyes.
Yeah, he'll definitely have onions. That's for sure.
Oh, onions too,
Onions
yeah.
and potatoes.
Raw potatoes.
Yeah.
If I was cooking dinner and that little booger come in the kitchen, which he did a lot, he'd go, "What are you doing, Nan?" Or old skin, whichever. It was Nan if he wanted something. I said, "Well, I'm getting supper ready." He goes, what is that?" And he knew what it was. I said, "I'm peeling potatoes." He goes, "You think I might have a piece of one of them?" I said, "Yeah, I think you probably can." So I cut him off a hunk, wash it. He needed salt on it. And me and him would eat raw potatoes while we were getting dinner ready.
I just
Yeah.
watch him.
If he wanted something, he was nice to me and called me Nan. But if he was messing with me, it was old skin.
It's a mess.
He was. He's a little turd.
He's funny.
He's
Yeah,
gonna
he
get
was.
it.
He's a comedian.
He's gonna get it. Oh yeah, he's got a crazy sense of humor.
But he is coming home.
Yeah, he's coming home.
Mhm.
Yep.
He's coming home.
He's coming home.
Soon.
He's gonna get wrestled too. This old skin's gonna
We're just
wrestle
gonna
him.
bear hug them all.
Yeah, group hug.
Group hug, the biggest one he'll
Let's
ever
we'll
have.
suffocate him.
Yeah, he will. He's coming home. I wanted to share that with you guys. We thought about it. I wasn't going to do it, but I already told you. There has been a motion filed to bring Hunter home.
Yep.
And it's because of you guys.
We just got to get
Yes.
the court date.
We're just waiting on the court date.
Yep.
So if you all hear something screaming, it's probably not Bigfoot. It's probably me. When we get home.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna scream.
Yeah, we're gonna do a. There will be videos of the reunion and everything. So that's right, Herbert. He will be home soon. And all this, and I'm going to say it right here. It's not Damon Peterson saying this. It's me under my show, under my flag. All over blurry pictures.
Yeah.
11-year-old paid.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I'm going to let everybody have their say, and then I'm going to go ahead and wrap the show up. I'll start with, I guess, Sarah, Mom, and Kaylee. Then we'll end it, and then Brooks, and then we'll end it.
I get
Sorry.
to go first.
Ladies first.
No.
Well, she's been wanting to go. She's been trying to say something. I was cutting her off.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say about that, about the lies and stuff, and Hunter having to go through all that. It's terrible. But to all you guys in the chat and the ones that have donated tonight, it really I think I could say touched all of our hearts for every one of you doing that, and the ones that we get, from the PO box and all the other links that are up to support Hunter. I appreciate all you guys being here tonight to support Hunter, and of course filling our chat with purple. It's going to be great for him to go back and see all the people that care about him and that love him and that want to see him come home. And we can't wait to get him home. We miss him. We love him. So thank you all so much, and God bless each and every one of you.
My turn.
Your turn.
I do want to thank everybody, especially our moderators. They've been awesome. They help us so much. And all of you people that are praying for us and donating, I don't have a word to tell you how much that means to me. But I really, really do appreciate it. And thank you all so much for doing that.
Kaylee?
I'm not sure.
You'll have to speak up because we're a little far away.
Well, like Sarah and Nan said, we're very blessed and thankful for each and every one of you and all your prayers. That's what really matters. It's not the money or anything like that, but it's the prayers. And to Brooke, Scott, and Randy, we're blessed and thankful for them as well.
Yeah.
They've always been here, just like all of you. And I know Hunter's going to come home. God is wrapping his arms around all of us and giving us a peace, knowing that Hunter's coming home. And we're just blessed and thankful that God bless us with all of you. And just thank you all so much, and God bless.
Well, I would like to thank.
It's Brooks's turn.
Oh yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Brooke.
Hello.
Raise your hand.
There it is.
We didn't forget
We didn't.
I'm here.
That's why I looked at the screen. I was like, okay, wait, not Brooke. And I was like, well.
Here we go.
Well, everybody, we all know it's God's time, not ours. Yeah. We thank you very much for the donations. It's truly helping a bunch.
Yeah.
So thank you for being our supporters. Thank you for being Patreon members. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. That means a lot. We love you all. Thanks.
It's your turn.
Your
Lauren.
Yeah, my turn now. I would
Your
like
turn.
to invite everybody that's with us tonight that has not subscribed or became part of our family to subscribe. I would like to personally invite you. I would like to thank D.A. Roberts. D.A. Roberts has stood with me from the beginning. He has posted links as well as tonight to support Hunter on his page. That means a lot to me. I would like to thank my moderators. I couldn't do what I do without you. The show is all of us because it works off all of us. I love you guys like family. We're going to keep filling it up with purple until Hunter comes home, and we're not going to stop putting out the links or anything until he does come home. And I know that whenever he comes home, that there's going to be evil that's going to come again, that's going to try to destroy it. But this time, we're ready because we have the armor of God. And without you guys, this would not be happening as fast as it's happening. But I also have to thank the channels that have come forward that I'm not going to name, that don't want to be named right now, but they have requested seats for the what we're calling the big show. They're still helping us with things right now, and they don't want to be brought out, and I understand that because they are gathering information. But they will be in the big show. They've requested to be in the big show. Thank you all so very much. Mr. Herbert, thank you for the donations. Again, to the going home, we're sorry that we blocked you. That was a mistake. We want you with us, and we apologize for that, and thank you for your donation so very much. You'll be receiving something in the mail. You guys are awesome. You are bringing my world home.
Yep.
We got a piece of the puzzle missing, and it needs to be put back.
Yeah.
Yeah, a piece of the family isn't here.
It needs to be whole again.
There's a hole, and we got
There's a hole.
He
Big
well,
hole.
he's paying the price
Yeah.
for
for
adults
for adult
revenge.
revenge. And
So sad.
Bad petty revenge.
you know, I'm just going to end it with thank you all so very much. When I see the purple hearts in the videos I drop and the pre-records, which will be coming. If you become a member of the channel, you will get a picture of Hunter that will be beside your name until he comes home. But we love each and every one of you guys, and we can't wait to have the coming home party. It's going to happen, and until next time, guys, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner, and we'll see you on the next one.
Good night, everyone.
Have a good night.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
Good night.
God bless. Love you, Hunter.